Hey all, welcome to the first episode of Career with Sameer. My first guest is Munish Dadwal. He is co-founder of Caelius Consulting, a company based out of Dallas, and they have location in Canada, India, and Singapore also. He is one of my dear friend, and I have known him for past couple of years. Uh, I have seen him work tirelessly, and he works. He makes sure that his team also works hard, and they are like a mini family here, which I adore very much because that's the company culture that you want to be in. I have learned a lot from him about the technical architecture, about the APIs, and what MuleSoft is, and how you create uh, various different things in any kind of technical environment, right? And it gives me immense pleasure to bring this conversation to you. The conversation that we had was around how he created this company and what is MuleSoft and what are the expectations uh, that he has from the people who are joining his organization. What is the salary structure and how he gives the salary, how he evaluates the performance in the company, and where they are hiring right now. So stay tuned to this end of this episode, and I hope it helps you. Uh, Here it goes. Enjoy this episode. Great. So thank you, Munish, for doing this. This is our first episode, Career with Sameer. And I have known you since last, I want to say now 2.5 years, right? And I have seen you working up close and how you work and everything. So I just want our listener to know that how you started your career and how you reached today where you are.
Uh, okay, absolutely, Samir. So yeah, Munish Dadwal, let me do a quick introduction on my side and then can go into details of your questions. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to your show. Munish Dadwal, co-founder of the company Caelius Consulting. I'm based out of Dallas, Texas. Career-wise, yeah, I mean, been in integration space for almost 2 decades. I would say less than 2 decades. I worked for TIPCO for good 10, 12 years, 12 years. And then one fine day, I was like, okay, now I need to go and do on my own. And landed up, tried few other products, integration products, uh, and then did like MuleSoft just because it's a single stack where, I mean, in the same stack, you get all that you need for from integration perspective. So I like the stack. Had few friends who gave me first opportunity or break to delve into MuleSoft side of things. And yeah, it's been almost 6 years now. Employee number one, I would say. KDS Consulting today is around 240 people company, right? Multi-location global company, I would say. Head office Dallas, Texas, nearshore Canada, and then two offshore delivery centers in India and one sales office in Singapore. Uh, yes, so yeah, that has been the journey. I would say yes. Was it fun? Yes, it is fun ride. I would say I wake up every morning and whatever happened past day, I had to shrug it off, start the day fresh, and yeah, it's the motivation, I would say. Motivation, drive, whatever other terms you can say, right? Those are key aspect of if you have to differentiate yourself from others, right? I don't, at the end of the day, I don't let anything pull me down. There are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things that people say or do or tell, or customer meetings that you have, but that's fine. I mean, next day it has to be in a new day for me, absolutely new day. And then secondly, it has to be, learning never has to stop. That you
Correct.
can't say that, okay, I figured it out now, this is all I will do, right? And you know, Samir, right? I even bug you at times that, hey, let's build this LLM models, let's do this and that, right? So the learning should not stop, and the drive should always be there. I think those are the key aspects for any entrepreneur or for anyone who wants to start anything, right? I mean, it can be if it is, if it will always remain as an idea if it is only on the paper, right? But then you take that idea and then go to market with it. Uh, but yes, every day is learning. I mean, every day is learning. There's no
Right.
day that there's nothing that I didn't learn. I mean, be it technical or be it from business side. And then you wear multiple hats, right? I always call it, people say CEO, right? It is chief everything officer. It's not chief executive officer, right? So everything, right? So at times there is legal person is not there. You are reviewing SOW, statement of works, right? All those things. MSAs you are reviewing, or you're looking into architecture discussions, or then you are on the next call, you are talking to someone from growth perspective, right, or partnership perspective, right? So yeah, so there is different hats. I mean, at least you wear like 4 or 5 different hats during the day, and yeah. So that's the life of that's my day in a day every day in KDS, I would say.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have got a lot of tangents, right, on which we can now deep dive and talk. So let's start with first MuleSoft, right?
Okay.
I have known MuleSoft, right? I have known MuleSoft mostly as an API conglomeration and API selling platform, right? That's what I have known as MuleSoft. But since you have been working it and selling it across to different partners, uh, like if a layman like who wants to understand what is MuleSoft, right? What that company does. So how you'll explain that?
Sure. Good question, I would say, Samir. We get asked in most of our sales calls, right, when we go to customers. But anyways, if you every customer, right, even if it is 5 people, 2 people company, there will be or say top 500 companies, right, Fortune 500 companies, they will at least have at least two systems, say accounting system, HR system, your lead management system, CRM system. Some system would be the accounting and CRM will always be there. Any company for
Correct.
5 people company also will have it, right?
Correct.
So now you have to worry about how do we synchronize the data between them, right? So uh, very basic problem. Again, every company has that problem, right? If I have a customer created in CRM, how do I put it into my accounting system also, right? Or if I get a lead, how do I manage that lead, right? You can do it manually from one system. You type the customer name, say Samir is the new customer or a lead, and then you go into accounting and create Samir there, right? You can do it, but that's not a scalable solution, right? You can solve this problem humanly up to certain level, right? After that, you want the automation to be there, right? You want all this to be integrated. Moment you create an account or an opportunity or a lead in sales and CRM system, it should automatically flow into accounting, right? From that perspective, or when lead becomes opportunity, you want to your accounting system. So for that automation to happen, where it automatically data goes into accounting system, so that invoices, payments, all that can be done. That's a very classic. Every company has that huge problem today. I mean, every company, 5 people company will also have that. And you extrapolate it now, bigger companies, they will have like 15 or 20 different systems, right? Now, how do we synchronize the data, right? How do we make sure that the right data is at the right place at the right time, kind of thing, right? So then all these integration products come in picture. They try to, they bridge that gaps. If you think about it, otherwise those two systems that I talked about, right, they become siloed system. They are not integrated, manual, this thing and all, right? Once you bring MuleSoft into picture, right, or any integration product for that matter, right, they connect those systems, and you don't have to worry about writing that code in your core systems, right? MuleSoft will sit in the middle. It knows how to talk to X system and it knows how to talk to Y system, and then it will integrate both of them and make sure you have a seamless data flow between all of them, right?
Right.
That's at the lowest level you can do it, right? But then as you go into more enterprise customers, right, it comes with APIM, right? Any contract APIM is there. You can manage your APIs. You can write policies around it, right? Then there is partner manager that comes with it, right? If you have B2B, B2C kind of use cases, EDI use cases, you can bring that into it. And then there is object store, so you don't have to worry about in memory or caching of the data, right? You can do use that object store. So all that comes within your and then your load balancer, right? If you want to manage the load, if you want to put a load balancer in front, right? So you all that comes within the product itself. In single stack, you have all these tools with you now to solve the problem.
Correct.
So
Can we
that's the
say
vision.
MuleSoft is like, let's say Zapier is also a version of what MuleSoft does? Can we say
Yes.
that?
Yeah. So Zapier is say 10% or 15% of what MuleSoft does. There are multiple tools, right? Zapier is there, Celigo is there, Boomi is there. Right? There are tons of products, right? All of them can do integrations, right? But depends on how complex integrations are there, right? How much do you want, right? If I do not want any API or policies, or I am not worried about my API security side of things, right?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, you can use Zapier for that matter, or you can use Lego for that matter, right? But then it comes that, hey, if I want both on-prem, my on-prem systems also needs to be integrated, right? I want a cloud-based integration tool, but I want my on-prem systems to be integrated. Then it's only MuleSoft that comes in picture, right? Then if you look into that, hey, I want Kubernetes to be there, I want containerized option, right? I want pods, right? Then MuleSoft has a solution for it.
Okay.
And then it gives you the flexibility of, again, now going more into enterprise space, right? If you are looking more for containerized on-prem or containerized cloud managed by partner or iPaaS solution, right? MuleSoft is the answer that okay, it has the platform which supports Kubernetes, containerization, pods, all of that is taken care for you, right? So depends on, so it's integration anyone can solve, but most of the vendors can solve that problem. But then as you go higher on the requirement side of it, right? How my multi-cloud, multi-region deployments, right? Think about it, right? Okay, I have GDPR restrictions because I have some data in my European side of things, right? And then I have US data, right? And then those smaller tools do not solve that problem, right? Then the multi-cloud strategy side of MuleSoft, which it supports on the deployment side of it, right? You can solve it. Then again, if there's any point, MQ also comes with it, right? If you have public subscribe use cases, right? It's out of the box. Here it is. Just use it. So it's a complete stack of all that you need to solve, both from deployment side or use cases side, that you can solve, which none of the other traditional, what should I say, integration platforms do it. They will solve bits and problem of it, but not the comprehensive solution that we look for.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the business side of the equation, right? MuleSoft is a tool, right? Will it be fair if I call your business as a data service industry? Can I identify Caelius as a data service where you do data transformation and all those pieces that include a little bit of software engineering?
Data service becomes it's a very broad topic, right? It's a very broad topic. Even if you are using Informatica, ETL kind of use cases, right, or you're building data lake, right, you can say I'm a data service company, right? But data service is a very broader this thing, right? Yes, in data there is one aspect to it which can be called as integration. That's all it, right? So in data space integration, yes, that's where Caelius comes in and solves that problem.
Okay. So how big will be that market? Let's say we are talking about, we won't go with the detailed number. Let's say there is a market which is 100. How much of that would be data integration as of today?
Everywhere integration is there. I won't. Even if I have to, I'm not quoting any Gartner or anyone here, right? But I would be surprised if out of 100, all the 100 have some level of integration problems. Either they have solved it on their own, right, where they just extract files, right, manually and upload it to the target system, or all of them will have it. Like I said, right, even a smallest company, 5 people company, or even 2 people company will at least have 2 systems. And how do you integrate? You need some integration tool.
Correct.
So I would say all 100 of them will have integration problem. It depends on the severity of the problem, right? How many systems they have, right? And then how much, what is their global presence, right? And then how complex integrations needs to be done, right? From even integrations, there are tools that can only do certain level of integrations, right? Because you can't write too complex logic in there, right?
Okay.
So depending on all those matrix, you select what you really want, and then you land up into a product. Okay, this is the product that can solve all of those my integration problems, and then you go from there.
Okay. So let's say that is it a one-time job, that integration, for a company, let's say, who is not adding any more technical stack, which is never the case, because we both know, like, new technology comes and then leadership wants it into their mix. So there is always new thing that is coming. So would you say that this integration is for, let's say, conservative numbers, let's say 50% of the company, they do it once and they just need some kind of one resource solution, which is they're just looking at the plumbing and making sure everything is working fine? Or is it something which is a continuous process?
I would say, think about it. Worst come worst, what happens? Acquisitions are always happening.
Correct.
If acquisitions are happening, you need to integrate with their systems, right?
Correct.
So yes, there are people who might not do, might say, okay, this is the only integration I would do, right? But as the company will grow, right? If it is 2 people company, it will become someday become 20 people or 200 people company. The integrations problem, I mean, they would, if the company is growing, let me put it that way. If the company is growing, yes, their integration problems will be there.
Okay.
So you cannot shy away from that hey, I'll build my system like one comprehensive siloed system which has everything in it, and I don't need any integration. No, that cannot happen. And with this whole mobile technologies, right, and now chat GPT and all that AI coming in picture, right, you cannot have a siloed data and say that okay, this is the only data set I'm looking into and I have everything in one place, right? So so those I mean those will drive your integration use cases. Absolutely.
That's a fair point. So let's talk about the skill side, right? Which is this is very tool based job, right? Which is MuleSoft is a tool, right? And the other skill is business skill that you need to understand the domain and the industry and all the regulation. So if somebody wants to make career in this segment of data integration, right? Should they be very tool savvy who can learn tools quicker, or somebody who has a very good basic understanding of how data engineering works? Where their skill should lie?
No, absolutely. That's a great question, Samir. Anyone can do integration because it's the problem. The good thing is that it's both good and bad. It's the good thing is that it's very easy because most of the complexity is already built into the components, which are pre-built components, and you just drag drop and you connect them and you're done.
Correct.
But you can easily go wrong with it, right? In case you implement wrong pattern or you have not written your code correctly, right? So yes, it's very easy to learn, but traditionally what I've seen, people who come with computer science background, right, not just from MS, who have actually done hands-on keyboard, right, for even for 6 months to 8 months, right, core Java programming. I always look for C# or .NET developers to start with. That if they come with that background, it's very easy for them. Because think about it, when they have done their .NET or C# or Java programming, right, they have not done drag and drop, right? Every connection pool, right? All logic they have to write.
Correct.
And then define the connection pool, define the size of the pool, and then make sure your connection comes out of it, and then you release the connection. All that you have to worry about and think about it programmatically, right?
Yeah.
In this world, it is all taken care for you. You just drive it and boom, it is all done. It's all under the hood, right? So if you do not do that kind of programming, then you will never understand that there is a concept of connection pool and you have to release your connections to it, right? There can be stale connections, you can have idle connections, or you can have size of the pool you can define, right? And you can say how long the connection can be alive. If you've not done that programming, right, you will never know, because for you it is all the package solutions, right?
Correct.
For you it will be slightly difficult to understand that why certain, and then you can control connection pool within MuleSoft also, or any of these products, right? But if you don't have that core understanding of things, then it is difficult to understand it, because here it is much packaged, much easier, right? So for that reason, I always think that someone should have this thing, right? Core programming language, right? Even if that does not exist, I would ask them to write a basic chat application, say Yahoo Chat, how we have, right?
Yeah.
Write a chat application with database in the background, right, for persistence layer, and it should support, say, 5 simultaneously chats, right, that can go on. If you can do that programming, right, I mean, it might take you a month's time, right? Learn it and do it, implement it in C# or in Java, right? If you can implement it, understand it thoroughly, right? I think you get a fair understanding about then you look into much deeper side of it, because you look into the sockets, you look into the persistence layers, right? You look into how the DTOs, right? Those are mapped, right? Data transfer objects. You look into the OOP side of it, you define interface layer, you define your intel classes, right? So you implement it and then understand it thoroughly, that what have I done, this program, what does it do, right? If you can do that, it should not be just copy paste or ask chat GPT, can you generate it for me? Yeah, obviously then you're cheating yourself. But if you really honestly understand that, okay, these are the packages that I need to include, right? And this is what I need to worry about, multi-threading, right? If I have to worry about, or I want to make it single threaded, right? Or I want to make sure a persistence layer is there, right? And so on and so forth, right? If you think about all those perspectives and build a program, you can do it, I think then you are a good candidate you can be a good developer who can become a really fast, good architect.
Right.
If you don't have that low level of understanding, yes, you can become architect. It might take you longer period of time. But I would always recommend some hands-on work is my take on it.
Correct. So basically, if you have a little bit of coding skill and you have done something of a project, even sort of, so you will be able to pick it up.
Exactly, you will be able to pick it up. Yeah.
What's the career progression? Let's say they join your company as a junior developer, right? Let's say, and you train them on MuleSoft or the software that they need to know, right? What's the career progression? And if anyone is looking to join your firm, right, what should they expect? That what will be their like first promotion, second promotion, and where they can end up?
Yeah, so no, great question. It's not driven by number of years of experience, right? So in our case, it's all flat structure. Your progression is purely driven by your growth path. It's not that, hey, if you are in company for 1 year, you will become a developer. 2 years, you will become senior developer. 4 years, you will become an architect. No, nothing like that. There are people who have become architects in less than 2.5 years time also, right? So it depends how fast you learn, right? And what your capabilities are, right? So we do not support the fact that, hey, oh, you are in our company for 5 years, hence you need to be this now. No, it's up to how fast you have done how fast you have come across, right? How many projects you have done, how many certifications have you done along with it, right? If you have done, say, MuleSoft platform certification also, and integration architect certification also, okay, boom, you're already on paper, at least you are ready to become an architect, right? And then you have a real experience of handling the project. Yes, you become an architect, you go from there. But otherwise, if you are a developer, and I would say, if you're a developer and you have really good development skills, right, and you have good communication skills, right, I would say you can become architect much faster. Year and a half, you can be an architect, versus someone who has 5 years of hardcore development experience but has very poor, I would say, limited communication skills, and yeah, I mean, analytical and communication skills, right? And has no programming background, I would say, it becomes difficult to rise faster. So purely your skills is how I would drive it. If you are skilled, absolutely you can move up the ladder much faster.
Correct, correct. So yeah, so let's talk about you talked about the skills and what they need to do, right? Um, this is the question to all of us, right? Who go out and hire people, right? How do you decide the salary of a resource, right? And this is often very gray area, right?
Yeah,
Because
so
so
good
how
question.
do you decide it? Like
Yes.
I'll first tell you like how I decided, then I'll say, right? So I'll set up a base for you. So when I decide the salary, I look at the ROI, right? What you are bringing in to the firm and how much you are helping me out, right? And I just take that time and multiply it with the cost and I get a number, right? Which is usually the average in the market, or maybe 10%, 20% more than the average, because we are a small firm and we need to make sure that our talent sticks with us. So how do you decide with 240 people and you're constantly hiring across the globe? How do you decide the salary?
I would say salary is not driven by your experience, right? It's purely driven by the value you bring to the table.
Correct.
Right? It's purely driven by that, right? Even as we are talking today, right? This week we are going to 8 universities in around Chandigarh area, and 4 of them in Hyderabad area, just to hire the talent, right? So I won't say, if it is a fresher we are hiring, yes, there is a cap on what we, because they have not proven it to us, right? They are still fresh out of college, and within 3 to 6 months time, we'll figure out how fast they can move, right? So that cap is there when you initially come in, right? But after that, right, it is up to you how fast you are moving, right? How fast you have understood the product, how fast you have done your certifications, right? How fast learner you are, right? How many successful projects have you delivered, right? If you've done all that, there is no limit on that. Oh no, because we cannot do anything for next 1 year or two
Mhm.
years. No, nothing like that. So it's purely right now, I won't say, it is subjective to a level of your skill set.
Mhm.
So that's absolutely,
Correct.
and absolutely you get rewarded, right? You work for the company. There are people who started with us when 5 years back, right? Absolutely, they are in much better state. I mean, they have grown to much higher roles, right? Uh, but today, if we see from freshers, if we look, yes, there is cap for 6 months. Then it is purely up to their talent. That how I mean, I've seen people. I don't want to name him. I mean, within 6 months, he finished all his certificates. Even, I mean, he came as a developer, but with core good programming skills. Within 6 months, he completed all MuleSoft certification, right? I mean, developer certifications, platform certifications, integration architect certifications, and he shadowed other people, other architects, as an associate architect for the customer. So within 1 year, if I see the growth of that resource right now, and they're not all of them in that category, trust me, I'm just labeling all the corner cases, right? Within 1 year, that resource has reached this level that, okay, now I feel confident that if it is a small project, say 1 or 2 resources project, 3 resource project, he can lead that project, become a lead, or be an architect and drive it from there.
Correct.
But this resource I'm talking about, he works like 14 hours a day. And not that we ask him to work 14 hours a day. It is just that he will be the first person to come to office and he's the last person to leave. But all he's doing is he's doing all his self-learning, running different meetups, going into meetups, learning, and that's mostly self-driven out of what we expect from him.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
I mean, that there are cases like that also, but are there so many of them? No, there are very few of them.
Right. It's always 80-20, right?
Yeah,
So,
even it's not even 80-20. Samir, this is like 5% I'm talking about with
wow.
that kind of drive.
Okay.
Like within 6 months, you finish all your certification and you know the subject.
Right.
One, you can see brain dumps, you have seen practice questions, okay, you can do all the certification. That's one way to solve it, right? But you knowing the subject, right? I mean, you can theoretically understand it, but what if you put into a real scenario? That's where you will shine whether you have learned it properly or not. So, and the best part is even when they get into those roles, there are so many people within the organization, right, who can support them in those roles, right? It's not that you face the music of customer. No, there's so every week, if not every week, right, every other day, there are internal learning sessions going on.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
We pick up one topic and we talk about it. Anyone picks up the topic and they talk about it, right? So the learning is much faster. So it's up to the and into the resource now how fast they can absorb it and then see it and then go ahead and grow themselves also.
Great.
What?
Great. Great.
Yeah, all I can promise them is the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
From technical perspective, right? It's up to them how fast they want to move.
Right. And you'll be treated very fair. That is there in the market. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I have seen you like, yeah, very candid with your employees who are here in Dallas. At least I've seen with them that how you treat them, and it's like an extended family to you, right?
Exactly.
So, what are your like? This is again like we are ending it. So, let's say anybody who wants to join your firm, right? What should be their? I know the aptitude, the technical aptitude they should have. What are your expectations to them as a person, right? One is like you are of course looking them to learn everything, but what makes a candidate a better employee in terms of what are the values that you look into them?
Yeah, I mean, values is always at the top of our list, right? There are, definitely learning is something I look, that's something very near and dear to me. How driven they are to learn, right?
Right.
Rest of the things you can manage, tweak, course correction, all those things you can do, right? But if there is no drive to learn, that's a big red flag for me.
Right. Right.
It should never be that, hey, I have 2 years of experience, I have 5 years of experience, I don't need to learn, right? I just do my project and I move on, right? No, you need to have that drive to learn, ask that question, which is like why or how. And that has been the differentiating factor for us or anyone I look at.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we are almost at the close of the time, and I have covered most of the question, but we can do a part 2 also if users like it, if all the viewers like it. Thank you so much, Munish, for doing this. I really enjoyed this conversation. I always enjoy all the conversation we ever had. So, but thank you so much for doing this, and I hope it will help a lot of people understand more about Caelius, MuleSoft, and more important, how to be a better resource.
No, absolutely. Thanks, Samir. Thanks for hosting us, and good luck with your podcast. I'm sure this is one of many that are supposed to come. And I want you to switch the sides at some time and then talk about machine learning, AI. I know you are, if I'm not wrong, you're the top. You were the 5 people within US, non-American, being recognized, right, in US, right? So for your AI and ML side of capabilities, right? I want you to talk more about it to people and tell them what you did, and how you how you did that and how you became entrepreneur also, right? So absolutely, you are one, and there are not many people like you I have met. So I think you should be a good example. Switch the roles at one point and we'll do that.
Sure, we'll do that. Thank you so much. Yeah, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Samir. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Bye.